Welcome back to today's edition of the Strictly Muscles Chronicles. Thank you for showing up and watching. My name is Martin. I'm a personal trainer, nutrition coach, and muscle activation technique specialist in Chicago, Illinois. And the goal of the Chronicles is to provide exercise, nutrition, and mindset practices to help you during the COVID-19 pandemic and also to help you beyond. Remember, we're trying to build habits that will help you deal with what's going on right now, but also prepare you for the future. The quote I have to tie that into is this: it's only through true study and depth of knowledge that one builds expertise and mastery. You're building mastery and expertise in yourself because that's what you can control. For our nutrition part of the video, I wanted to go ahead and remind everybody we're eating until 80% full, satisfied but not stuffed. Last couple days I've shared with you, hey, these are some physical and mental cues that go along with hunger, fullness, and being satisfied or eating just the right amount. Talked about stacking that awareness skill to the task that we did in week 1, which was essentially journaling when we were eating. Not what we were eating, but when we were eating. What we eat will be later on. So add this hunger cue and not awareness of it to when you're eating. And what we're doing is we're going to stick with this habit because it can be difficult or new for you in being aware of, oh, I'm really hungry, or I'm just kind of hungry, or I'm not hungry at all, but I'm eating anyway, or I'm eating and oh, I'm full and now I'm stuffed and I can't do anything, versus wow, I feel really good and I feel energetic. So that's what I want us to work on, is to build that awareness this week and moving forward. Please share with me your ideas on tracking and applying this skill or this habit to your daily life. Time for exercise. Yesterday I mentioned that I want to cover some movements for us today. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's all about building movement into your daily routine. Why? Well, one reason is to take a break between tasks. Okay, so you're going from a meeting to maybe making lunch, back to meeting, maybe taking care of the kids, back to meeting, blah, blah, blah. So this will allow you to have that little bit of a gap in between. Now, the second reason I thought this was the more important thing is to make it a trigger to switch gears between your roles and your responsibilities. So going back to that first thing, your roles are what you do. Okay, so for me, I'm a husband, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a friend, I'm a personal trainer, coach, student. So when I go from, oh, I'm answering emails and I'm sending text to my clients, and then I go, oh, I'm going right into studying. Well, I might still be thinking about what I was communicating with my client, rather than now I have my full attention on that article or that task that I've been assigned to in my studies. So this is a good way to switch gears and make it as a trigger, so then you can go, okay, now I'm on to this as my task. How? Well, let's schedule about 5 to 10 minutes between each task that you do, between your meetings, before you have your next meeting. Book it off in your schedule as best you can for 5 minimum, no more than 10 minutes. All right? Now, what? I want to start seated, okay? And I will show a version tomorrow of these exercises plus a couple more that you can do standing, all right? But seated is a good way to separate your lower body and your upper body, and you'll see why on these first 3 that I'm going to do. So the first one that I want to cover is this trunk extension and flexion, okay? So remember back to what I did with the trunk low back exercises, or the posterior muscles. Well, that's what you're going to do to assess your range of motion. Just do this. Just go ahead and drive that, sit up, and then crunch forward, okay? I'm trying to stay nice and balanced on my my sit bones or my butt cheeks. So I'm not going here and rocking back like that, and I'm not going here and falling forward there. So that's the first one. Second one is trunk rotation. So now facing you, I want to actually reset. I don't want to be here and trying to turn, because that will be kind of like you're in a locked out elbow position and you're trying to straighten it even more. Doesn't work so well. So go ahead and put a little slouch in here. All right. Then once you have that slouch, go ahead and just see how far you can turn to the left, and then go all the way to the right. And just go back and forth doing that. If you get a little dizzy by doing that, just keep your head forward like that. Now the final one for these trunk motions is this: side bend, okay, or lateral flexion if you want to be technical. Again, I wasn't bolt upright. I was a little slouched there. And then I'm just go ahead and side bending to the right, side bending to the left, keeping balance on my butt cheeks. Again, not rocking when you do that. So those are the three for your trunk. Now let's go for some arm stuff, okay, or some shoulder stuff. Let's just go ahead and do shoulder elevation and shoulder depression. So I'm trying to reach towards the ground as far as I can, up and down, okay? Forward reach and then pull back, okay? So I'm bringing my arms up here and I'm trying to round my back as far forward as I can, and then I'm trying to pull my shoulder blades together. So that'd be called retraction technically, but I'm just calling it forward and backwards. So from the side, roll my arms up, forward and backwards. All right. Last one that I want to talk about here is that for arm flexion and arm extension. So on this one, I have my arm coming up. We did this for the shoulder. We're assessing our range of motion. So you're lifting as far as you can, but now let's add into it where you reach back as far as you can. There are two options here. Notice how I'm keeping my trunk upright. Well, and I'm not moving it here. That's one option. The other option is to engage, get the trunk involved, okay? So as I come up like this, I'm extending back, all right? Like we did in the first exercise. And then when I come this way, I'm dipping forward some too. Not one is better than the other. Incorporate it the way you want to. Now, for as far as how much to do, like I said, is 5 to 10 minutes, 5 minimum, no more than 10 minutes. How much? 8 to 10 reps. All right, these aren't really tough exercises to do, so I'm not worried about you blowing yourself up or challenging yourself too much. It's just a matter of like, hey, let's just get moving, switch gears, be your trigger to switch your roles, and then be your trigger to, okay, now I'm into my next meeting and ready to go.
For our mindset this week, I've asked everybody to start doing a mind-body scan. And this really ties into that nutrition advice too, is the more we're aware of our cues, the more we'll be aware of everything else we do in life, okay? So when you're doing your mind-body scan, ask yourself how are you feeling physically? That was the question I presented yesterday. Add this to it. Ask yourself how you are feeling emotionally. When I'm doing my scan, I do this, and I'm anxious today, or I'm calm. I'm really energetic, or you know what, I'm a little lethargic today. And so it's like these opposite ends of the spectrum or the continuum right there. And there's days where I'm right in the middle. I'm just like, man, I just feel smooth and ready to go. So ask yourself those questions, see where you're at. And remember, it's just kind of start at your head, work yourself down. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.